witnesses to this injustice. We see it all, and we will not stop until the world sees it too.
I remember that movie. That's actor Amandla Stenberg. She starred in the powerful 2018 film, The Hate U Give. It was about a teenage girl who witnesses the killing of her childhood best friend by a police officer. Now, it was based on the New York Times best-selling novel by author, that's Angie Thomas. And now Thomas's second novel, On the Come Up, it's called, also based on another bestseller, has been turned into a film. Angie, you're rolling with the films, on our streaming service, Paramount+. It tells the story of an aspiring 16-year-old rapper. Her name is Bree. And in this scene, Bree talks with her mom about trying to follow in her late father's footsteps and make it as a hip-hop artist. Here's a look.
When you were little, you used to turn everything into a microphone. You know that? If I couldn't find my hairbrush, I knew you were babbling into it somewhere. Your daddy would say, our little miracle gonna be a superstar.
Everybody just wants me to be like Dad.
You don't have to be. You just be you. That's all the special you need.
All the special you need. Angie Thomas, we're happy to say, is also one of the film's producers. Shouldn't she be a producer, Nate? She wrote the book.
That's right. Of course.
So congratulations with your producer hat.
Thank you.
But one of my favorite lines in the movie, Bree, who spells her name B-R-I, you always say, you can't spell brilliant without first spelling Bree.
That's it.
I love that line. So Bree is an aspiring rapper. You know who else was an aspiring rapper? You, Angie Thomas. So are you really Bree?
Well, you know, I took a lot of my own personal experiences and put it into Bree. At 16, I wanted to be a rapper because it was a great way to make myself heard. But at the time, my family was struggling financially. My mom had unexpectedly lost her job, and it threw us in a tailspin. And so I thought, what's the great way to make it as a, as a young person? Maybe as a rapper. Maybe that's the way I can, help my family financially. And for so many young people, that's what they're pulled towards hip hop and wanting to be a rapper. That's why they want to do it. They want that financial stability.
Yeah.
You talk about women being in the forefront of hip hop and not often getting the credit.
Yes.
Is this your way maybe of changing that narrative?
I hope so. I think about the women who've inspired me through hip hop. I think about the Missy Elliott's, the TLCs. I think about the Lauryn Hills, the Nicki Minaj's, and I think about the fact that they don't get enough props. They don't get enough credit for what they're doing, for what they've done, for how they've also empowered and inspired. And I hope that this movie makes people think about that a little bit more. Women have been the foundation of hip hop, but women have been so disrespected in hip hop.
That's a fact. Now, speaking of women in hip hop, Rhapsody was part of this project, and kind of giving Jamila the energy she needed to embody what it means to be a real lyricist, because Rhapsody is.
Yes.
What did that mean for you?
Oh, this is Jamila's first role, too.
Yes.
I think that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, Rhapsody, the way that happened is so funny because I mentioned her in the book in 2018, and she reached out to me and she was like, yo, I heard you mention me in the book. That's so dope. And I was like, yeah, I'd love for you to be a part of the movie. And then here we are years later. She ends up not only just being a part of it, she wrote the raps in the movie. So I was amazed. But for Jamila...
How'd you find her?
Jamila was found through over 200 audition tapes.
Wow.
And I found her in 200 tapes. She watched all of those tapes, and she found Jamila, and immediately she just jumped off the screen. And I got a chance to see her audition tape, and I was blown away. And it's good when the author forgets that this person is playing a character that you created.
Right.
She impressed you that much?
She impressed me that much. I was like, oh, this is Bree, so.
And you mentioned Sanaa Lathan, who also plays the mother, but this is her directorial debut.
Yes.
Talk about that.
That's, I've always been a huge fan of hers from Love and Basketball. I still have my VHS tape. I should have got her to sign it. But I've always been a huge fan of her work. And when I found out she was interested in directing it, I was like, whoa, I'm used to her as the actress, and then I hear she wants to play Bree's mom as well. I was all on board. But then getting to talk to her and hear her vision for it, her passion for it, you see it on screen, you see it in everything she's doing with it. But to hear her talk about it beforehand, before I ever got a chance to see her work, I knew immediately, I was like, I'm putting this baby in the right hands. She's gonna get this kid to Howard.
Yeah, hip hop is very layered. There's a need for all types of stories to be told.
Yes.
Oftentimes, I get caught up with listening to lyrics. But other people, they love the ratchet stuff. But there's an important factor in this movie that you're focusing on not having to be a killer, not having to sell drugs, not having to talk about the cars, clothes, and the girls.
Yeah. Yes.
Why was that important?
That was important because I want young people to know that's important. You know, we have to stand in our authenticity as artists. I'm all about being your authentic self. I'm all about speaking your truth, standing in your truth. As somebody who's had her books banned all over the country, I'm all about standing in your truth regardless of how it makes people feel. So I want more young people to do that. I want more young people to stand in their authenticity because that's truly at the end of the day what hip hop is really about.
Yeah.
It's about being your authentic self.
Yeah.
Speaking of authentic selves, that's you, Angie Thomas. So good to see you again. Can you still rap? Do you still?
Oh.
I do. I only do it when I'm doing book events. So it's like, I impressed people. I was surprised. They were like, oh, you're good. So it was like, no fallacies, I spit melodies, causing fatalities and do it, casually damaging rappers without bandaging or managing my own label, my own salary, and actually, factually, there's no MC that's as bad as me. So
Drop the microphone, Angie Thomas.
I see you.
Congratulations. On the come up. What does on the come up mean quickly?
It means you're on the verge of breaking out,
through.
making
Yes, I'm ready.
seeing your dream come true.
On the come up premieres today. That was really good. On Paramount Plus and off the top of your head.
I was going to say something, but I said forget it. I can't rap after that. All right.